Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Korean ebook before it's gone. Most people who learn a foreign language learn it so that they can one day have real-life conversations with native speakers. When you start out learning and crack open your first textbook or listen to your first podcast, having a real conversation can feel like a fantasy. When everything about a language feels new, it can be overwhelming. But this couldn't be further from the truth. While it does take a significant amount of time and effort to become fluent, having a conversation might not be as far off as you think. In this video, we'll look at 3 ways you can boost your conversational skills and start talking to native speakers. Number 1. Find native speakers and practice with them. It's unlikely you live near a big group of native speakers to practice with. If you happen to be in a major or international city, your chances may be better. Check and see if your city has a general language exchange. Chances are there could be a native speaker there who is also trying to learn another language. Practicing in person with a native speaker is probably the most interesting option for honing your speaking skills. But if you can't find anyone where you live, the next best option is to look online. Luckily for language learners, the past 10 years or so have seen an explosion in online language exchange sites. On these websites, you can search for someone who is a native speaker of your target language and is also learning your native language. The idea behind a language exchange is that you communicate with them via video or text chat, and half of the time, they help you practice your target language. And for the other half, you help them practice theirs. Practicing via an online language exchange is a highly effective way to practice your conversational skills. Number 2, work on pronunciation. Pronunciation is often an overlooked skill when it comes to learning a foreign language. Most people think of a good foreign accent as a luxury rather than a necessity. But what most people don't talk about is how having a good accent boosts your listening and comprehension skills. If you can hear a sound from a foreign language and know how to make it yourself, then you're more likely to understand native speakers when they talk at normal speed, and you're also more likely to remember any new words or phrases you come across. Having a good accent means that the language no longer sounds foreign. Instead, it sounds familiar, maybe even natural. So how do you go about perfecting your accent? The best way is to break down the language into its individual sounds. Make note of any sounds that are the same or similar to your native language and of those that are different. Of the sounds that are different, spend your time practicing the ones that you find the hardest to say correctly. After you're comfortable with the individual sounds, you can start linking together words and phrases. This is where accent practice starts to get really fun and interesting. Get your hands on some native speaker audio from a TV show, song, or podcast. Play the audio back and listen closely a few times. Take note of how words blend together in speech. Then, do your best to imitate what you hear, trying to match the speaker's emphasis and intonation. Our language learning program's playback feature is perfect for this. Record yourself and compare it to the original recording. Rinse and repeat until you're comfortable with the audio selection, and then move on to something more difficult. This is how you can break through the accent barrier and really start to make the language your own. Number 3, learn phrases, not just individual words. Learning grammar and individual words is great, but it's not the only approach you should take if you want to speak fluently. In addition to your regular grammar and vocabulary, try learning whole phrases, even if you aren't totally sure how they work grammatically. Learn phrases that are specific to your needs. It's a good idea to learn phrases that are grouped around a certain setting or subject, such as simple greetings or introductions, questions for getting to know someone, or traveling comfortably. You can even learn filler phrases, which you can use so that you have something to say when, well, you don't know what to say. Learning phrases like this will help you become conversational faster. You may not understand what you're saying literally, but as long as you know the general meaning behind the phrase and know when to use it, you'll be able to talk like a native. Eventually, your knowledge of grammar and vocabulary should catch up with the phrases you know. Learning a new language should feel like an adventure. There will be plateaus and periods in your learning where it feels like you're hitting a wall, but being able to speak with native speakers and have real conversations will help you combat language fatigue. After all, talking to someone face-to-face in a foreign language is one of the main reasons we start learning in the first place. And for even more ways to gain conversation skills, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Hi everyone, welcome back to Korean Weekly Words. I'm Jae-hui. Let's see what we have for this week. This week's theme is continents. Okay, let's see what we have for this topic. First one is 북아메리카, which means North America. 북 is the word meaning north, and 아메리카 is the word meaning America. With the word, you can say 한국에서 북아메리카까지 가려면 최소한 9시간이 필요합니다. Which means to go to North America from South Korea, it takes at least 9 hours. 남아메리카, which means South America. With the word, you can say 저는 40대가 되기 전에 남아메리카에 꼭 한번 가고 싶습니다. Which means I really want to visit South America before I make 40. I just want to visit every country in South America, but like Brazil. And I know that people there are very friendly, so yeah. 아프리카, which means Africa. With the word, you can say 기회가 되면 아프리카에 가서 사파리에 가보고 싶습니다. Which means if I get a chance, I want to visit safari in Africa. Especially with my mother, I want to go there because, you know, she loves traveling. We haven't got a chance to travel together. 아시아, which means Asia. With the word, you can say 저는 휴가 때마다 아시아에 있는 여러 나라를 가고 있습니다. Which means I visit different Asian countries when I get a chance to take vacation. 남극 대륙, which means Antarctica. With the word, you can say 남극 대륙에 가면 진짜 펭귄을 만날 수 있습니다. Which means if you go to Antarctica, you can see real penguins. And okay, that's all the words that we have about continent. I hope you like some of the words that we had. Okay, I'll see you next week. 다음 시간에 뵙겠습니다. 안녕히 계세요. Hi everyone, I'm Jae-hui. Welcome back to Korean Weekly Words. Okay, the theme for this week is South Korean cities. Okay, let's see what we have. Okay, we have Mokpo. Mokpo is the city that is located on the western south part of South Korean peninsula. So, I actually haven't got a chance to go there, but if you want to see beautiful islands, then this will be the city that you have to go through. 목포 근처에는 아름다운 섬들이 많이 있습니다. Which means near Mokpo city, there are many beautiful islands. Now we have Incheon. Incheon has the airport, international airport. So if you're planning to go to South Korea, you can see this word in the list of the airports. With the word, you can say 인천국제공항에서 서울까지는 1시간 걸립니다. Which means it takes about 1 hour from Incheon International Airport to Seoul. We have 천안. With the word, I can say 한국 사람들은 천안에 가면 호두 과자를 삽니다. Which means when Korean people go to Cheonan City, they buy chestnut cookies. Okay, next we have Busan. Busan is the second biggest city in South Korea. So if you already travel around Seoul City, the capital, I recommend you to visit Busan City too, because they have a lot of great seafood. So I can say 부산은 해산물 요리로 유명합니다. Which means Busan is very popular with seafood. Okay, now we have Seoul, which means Seoul, the capital of South Korea. I can make a sentence something like 서울에 가서 도움이 필요할 때는 120번을 누르세요. Which means when you need help in Seoul, just press 120 and just call it. There's be some staff speaking English very fluently, and they'll just help you what you need. It's for free, so you can just call the number if you need any help in Seoul, like tourist attractions or any translation help from them. Okay, so that was for all the words that we have for this week. We hope to see you in the next weekly words video. So have a nice day. 안녕히 계세요. Hi everyone, I'm Jae-hui. Welcome back to Korean Weekly Words. Okay, let's see what we have for this week. Korean tourist attractions. Okay, the first one we have is 경복궁, which means Gyeongbok Palace. Okay, with the word, I can say 경복궁은 1900년대 초까지 조선의 궁궐로 사용되었습니다. Which means Gyeongbok Palace was used as the palace of Joseon Dynasty until early 1900s. Okay, next we have Lotte World, which means Lotte World. Lotte World is the amusement park located in Gangnam area. 비가 와도 롯데월드에서는 놀이기구를 탈 수 있습니다. Which means even in the rainy days, you can enjoy the rides in the Lotte World because it's inside the building. 제주 올레길, which means 제주 올레 trail. Jeju is the name of the island located in south part of South Korea. And next one is 올레길, which means narrow trail in Jeju dialect. Okay, with the word, you can say 제주 올레길을 전부 다 돌아다니는 데는 6시간이 걸립니다. Which means it will take about 6 hours to walk all the 올레 trail at once. Okay, next we have 해운대, which means 해운대. 해운대 is the beach area in Busan City. With the word, you can say 가장 사람이 많을 때에는 해운대에 사람이 80만 명 정도 있습니다. Which means in the peak season, you can find at the maximum of 800,000 people in one day in 해운대 area. Okay, next we have 한반도 비무장지대. It's known as DMZ area. 한반도 비무장지대에서는 북한 군인들을 직접 볼 수 있습니다. Which means you can see North Korean soldiers if you go to DMZ area. Yep. Not only for the North Korean soldiers, actually you can see many, deers or animals that you would never see in South Korea because in the DMZ area, development has been prohibited. So it just keep everything as it is since 1950s. Okay, next we have the end. Okay. Okay, that's all for this week. I'll see you next time. 다음 시간에 뵐게요. 안녕히 계세요. I forgot my name. Hi everyone, welcome back to Korean Weekly Words. I'm Jae-hui, and let's see what we have for this week. This week's theme is crossing borders. Crossing borders. Let's see what we have. Okay, the first word is 국적, which means nationality. The country where you belong to. When you get on the airplane and, when you talk in Korean and the other person will ask you, 국적이 무엇입니까? Which means, what is your nationality? Okay, next we have 세관, which means customs. Okay, with the word you can say, 저는 세관을 통과할 때마다 긴장합니다. Which means I feel nervous whenever I go through customs. I don't know, I don't purchase anything expensive, but I just feel like, I'm doing something wrong when I go through customs. 여권, which means passport. 여 means traveling, 권 means book. So it literally means books for traveling that you have to get. So, with the word you can say 여권을 잃어버려서 대사관에 갔습니다. Which means I lost my passport, so I went to the embassy. No, I didn't. Yeah. Okay, next we have 비자, which means visa. With the word you can say 한국 여권으로는 비자 없이 갈 수 있는 나라가 많이 있습니다. Which means with a Korean passport, you can visit a lot of countries without visa. Okay, next we have it's getting difficult. 세관 신고서, which means declaration form. You can say 저는 비행기를 타기 전에 미리 세관 신고서를 씁니다. Which means I fill in the declaration. Yeah. Which means I fill in declaration form before I take a flight. Okay, next we have end. Okay, that's all. Outro is the most difficult. Okay, that's all for this week. I'll see you next time. 다음 시간에 뵙겠습니다. 안녕히 계세요. Hi everyone, I'm Jae-hui. Welcome back to Korean Weekly World. Let's see what we have for this week. This week's theme is tourism. Okay, let's see what we have for the first word. First, we have 표, which means ticket. If you're traveling in Korea, that you say 기차표, train ticket, 버스표, bus ticket, or something like that with the word 표. 기차표를 사기 위해서 서울역에 갔습니다. Which means to buy a train ticket, I went to a Seoul station. Okay, next we have 가이드, which means guide. With the word you can say 명동에 가면 가이드와 함께 있는 관광객들을 쉽게 볼 수 있습니다. Which means you can easily see a group of tourists with a guide in 명동. Sometimes we call it like tour guide or 여행 가이드, which literally means tour guide in Korean. Okay, next we have 조각상, which means statue. With the word you can say 제주도에 가면 하루방 조각상에 코를 만지는 아주머니들을 볼 수 있습니다. Which means when you go to Jeju Island, you can see some ladies, old ladies touching the nose of the statue called 하루방. So the 하루방 is the statue that looks like grandfather with a big nose. So some old ladies just touch the nose of the statue because there's myth that if you touch the nose of the statue, then you can have son or you can have grandson too. Okay, next we have 여행 일정표, which means itinerary. With the word you can say 여행을 가기 전에 친구와 함께 여행 일정표를 만들었습니다. Which means before taking a trip, I made an itinerary with my friend. Okay, next we have 폭포, which means waterfall. So with the word you can say 제주도에 있는 정방폭포를 가기 위해서 관광객들이 관광버스를 탔습니다. Which means to go to the waterfall named 정방 waterfall, tourists got on a tour bus. You can see that kind of things a lot in Jeju Island because there are many beautiful waterfalls around the island. And that's all for this week. I hope you like some of the words that we had for this week. I'll see you next time. 다음 시간에 뵙겠습니다. 안녕히 계세요. Hi everyone, I'm Jae-hee. Welcome back to Korean Weekly Words. Let's see what we have for this week. This week's theme is geography. That was my favorite subject when I was back in school. Okay, let's see what we have. The first word is 호수, which means lake. With the word you can say 저는 산정호수에서 산책하는 것을 좋아합니다. I like walking around the lake named 산정호수, 산정 Lake. It's really closer to the North Korea. So in the past, when North Korea had that area, that lake became a place for Kim Il-sung, like his place to, go around, private place only for him because the scenery is so beautiful. It's 산정호수, 산정 Lake. Okay, next we have 산, which means mountain. With the word you can say 서울에는 남산과 북한산이 있어서 사람들이 등산을 자주 합니다. Which means in Seoul we have 남산, South Mountain, 북한산, North Mountain. So people do hiking a lot in Seoul. Okay, next we have 언덕, which means hill. With the word you can say 서울에는 언덕이 많아서 자전거를 타기가 힘듭니다. Which means it's difficult for riding a bicycle in Seoul because there are a lot of hills. Next we have 섬, island. With the word you can say 한강의 남쪽은 섬이 많아서 다도해라고도 불립니다. Which means in South Sea of South Korea, there are a lot of islands. So it's also called 다도해, which literally means sea with a lot of islands. Okay, next we have 들판, which means field. With the word you can say 우리 집 강아지는 들판에서 혼자 뛰노는 것을 좋아합니다. Which means my dog likes to run around in the field alone. And okay, that's all the words that we have. I hope you like some of the words that we introduced in this theme. I'll see you next week. 다음 시간에 뵙겠습니다. 안녕히 계세요. Yeah. Hi everyone, I'm Jae-hee. Welcome back to Korean Weekly Words. Let's see what we have for this week. This week's theme is currency exchange. Okay, let's see what we have for this theme. The first one is 외국환. Meaning foreign exchange. It's also common to say 외환. Okay, with the word you can say 시장에서 외국환에 대한 수요가 많아졌습니다. Which means the demand for foreign exchange has been increased. Okay, next we have euro, which means euro. You can say 지난달에는 유로가 강세였습니다. Which means in the last month, euro was strong. So 강세 literally means in the situation which something is strong. So you can use the word 강세, strong, when you watch TV news about foreign currency. Dollar, US dollar. Yeah, right, yeah. When Korean people just say dollar, it means US dollar. And if it is for Hong Kong dollar or something like that, we put the country's name before saying dollar, which is something like Hong Kong dollar for Hong Kong dollars. With the word you can say 다음 주에 뉴욕 여행이 있어서 한국 원을 미국 달러로 바꿨습니다. which means since I have a trip to New York City next week, I converted Korean won to US dollars. 통화, which means currency. With the word you can say 일본의 통화는 yen입니다, which means the Japanese currency is yen. Okay, next we have 잔돈, which means small bill. With the word you can say 여행에서 남은 잔돈을 모두 기증했습니다, which means I donated all small bills that I have left from the trip. And okay, that's all for this week. I'll see you next week. 다음 시간에 뵙겠습니다. 안녕히 계세요. Hi everyone, I'm Jae-hui. Welcome back to Korean Weekly Words. In this video, we'll be talking about 20 travel phrases you should know. Let's begin. 고마워요. Thank you. I think if you just have to remember just one phrase before you travel to Korea, I think this is the phrase that you should know. 고마워요. There are different phrases meaning thank you. For example, 감사합니다, which is more formal, something like I appreciate. But 고마워요 can be used in general for any like casual or formal situation. For example, 저쪽에 가시면 화장실이 있어요. The toilet is over there. And you can just say 고마워요, thank you. Just for your tip, in Korea, it's mandatory to open a bathroom on the first floor of every building. So if you don't know where you can find a restroom, you just go to any big building around you, and then you'll be able to see a restroom open to public on the first floor of each building. 저기요, excuse me. If you want to ask how to get to a restroom around you, you can just say 저기요, 화장실은 어디에 있어요? Excuse me, where's the toilet? And then you can say 고마워요 to thank you after getting the answer. 얼마입니까? How much is it? 얼마입니까 sounds a little bit formal, so if you want to go a little bit casual, you can also say 얼마예요? How much is it? You're at a store like for clothing and you find a very good clothing for you, but there's no price tag. Then in this case, you can say 얼마입니까? 얼마예요? Meaning how much is this? 기차역이 어디예요? Where's the train station? Here we have the noun 기차역 meaning train station, and you can replace it with the other noun saying 화장실이 어디예요? Where's the toilet? Or 지하철역이 어디예요? Where's the subway station? 와이파이 인터넷은 무료인가요? Is the Wi-Fi free? So here we have the word Wi-Fi internet, or simply you can also say Wi-Fi to mean Wi-Fi. If you go to any cafe like Starbucks, let's say you buy a coffee and you can get a receipt, and on the receipt you can find a Wi-Fi password. Checking it, you can ask them saying Wi-Fi는 무료인가요? or Wi-Fi 인터넷은 무료인가요? Meaning is the Wi-Fi free? 이거로 할게요. I'd like this. 이걸로 할게요. I like this. Here we have the noun 이거 meaning this. If you want to say that thing, you can say 저거로 할게요. I'd like that. 메뉴판 좀 주실래요? Could we have the menu please? 메뉴판 좀 주실래요? Could we have the menu please? You can just simply say menu and say 메뉴 좀 주실래요? to mean the same thing. This is very polite expression, so I recommend you to use that. And if you need something else, you can just replace 메뉴판 with something else. For example, 물 좀 주실래요? Could we have water please? Or 김치 좀 주실래요? Could we have kimchi please? 추천해 주시겠어요? Do you have any recommendations? If you're not sure what to have at the restaurant, you can just say 추천해 주시겠어요? Do you have any recommendations? If you're not sure what to order at a Korean restaurant, I would highly recommend you try 불고기, which is kind of seasoned beef with soy sauce and sugar. So it's a little bit salty but also sweet but not spicy. 불고기를 추천합니다. I recommend 불고기. 땅콩 알러지가 있어요. I'm allergic to peanuts. If you're allergic to peanuts, you can just say 땅콩 알러지가 있어요. If you're allergic to something else, you can just say something 알러지가 있어요. For example, if you're allergic to cats, you can just replace 땅콩 with 고양이, which means cat, and say 고양이 알러지가 있어요. I'm allergic to cats. 채식 메뉴 있어요? Do you have any vegetarian dishes? Although many Korean dishes use a lot of vegetables, it's not easy to find something only for vegetarians. So it's better to ask, 채식 메뉴 있어요? Do you have any vegetarian dishes? Before you order something at a Korean restaurant. Or if you want to try a traditional Korean dish but without any beef or meat, you can just say 고기 빼고 주세요, which means please make dish without meat. 계산서 주세요. Could I have the check? If you want to pay for your dish, you can just ask 계산서 주세요. 카드 돼요? Do you take credit card? 카드 돼요? Do you take credit card? almost all the restaurants, they accept credit cards. So even if you don't have any Korean currency, it's okay to just go to restaurant and just pay by your credit card. 사진 좀 찍어주실래요? Could you take a picture of me, please? So if you're alone, but if you want to take a picture of you with something beautiful, you can just ask, 사진 좀 찍어주실래요? 금연석으로 주세요. I'd like to have a non-smoking seat, please. Actually, you don't have to ask this question anymore because since 2015, all restaurants in South Korea became non-smoking, like smoking-free. But you can use the pattern to ask something else. For example, 창가 근처로 주세요. I'd like to have a window seat. 할인해 주실 수 있어요? Could you give me a discount? Simply, you can also say 할인해 주세요, which means please give me a discount. When you are at a Korean traditional market, I think it's mandatory to ask this question because usually they expect their customers to ask this question. So it's better to ask the question. It's kind of fun to get some discount. So in the case, you can say 할인해 줄 수 있어요? Could you give me a discount? Or 할인해 주세요. Please give me a discount. 지도 좀 주실래요? Could I get a map? It's possible to not have any internet connection on your phone, so you need a map. In that case, you can just go to a tourist information center where you can find almost every tourist spot in South Korea and just say 지도 좀 주실래요? Could I get a map? 예약했어요. I have a reservation. So when you step into a hotel, when you step into a guest house, the staff will ask you like 예약하셨어요? Did you make a reservation? Then you can say 예약했어요. I made a reservation. I have a reservation. 물 주세요. Water please. This is very simple pattern. Like you can just replace 물 with something else. 김치 주세요. 김치 please. 주세요 can be used for any situations. It sounds polite, but still a little bit casual. If you want to be really polite, you can also say something 주시겠어요? 물 주시겠어요? 김치 주시겠어요? That means, could you please give me something? But for most of the cases, you can just remember 주세요 and say something 주세요 to mean something please. 영어 할 줄 아세요? Do you speak English? Simply, you can also say 영어 하세요. It literally means, do you do English? But it can mean, do you speak English? You know, if someone says something in Korean and you want to ask the person to repeat this question in English, you can just say 영어로 말해주세요. Please say that in English. 괜찮아요. It's okay. So in Korean, it's better to say something indirectly if you want to be polite. So if you want to say no, it's better to say 괜찮아요, which literally means it's okay, but it can be translated as no. So for example, if someone asks you to buy something, you can just say 괜찮아요 to mean no. It's better than saying 아니에요, which means no, literally, because it sounds too direct, and so therefore it sounds a little bit rude. Okay, that's all 20 travel phrases you should know. I hope you use some of the phrases when you travel to Korea. Make sure to come to koreanclass101.com to learn more expressions. I'll see you next time. 다음 시간에 뵙겠습니다. 안녕히 계세요.
여러분 안녕하세요. 누경진입니다. 한국의 새해 첫날인 설날은 양력이 아닌 음력 1월 1일입니다. 그래서 매 설날 날짜가 다른데요. 예를 들어서 2013년에는 설날이 양력 2월 10일, 2014년에는 1월 31일입니다. 설날에는 묵은 해를 보내고 새로운 해의 첫날을 맞이한다는 뜻에서 새 옷을 입는 설빔을 합니다. 또 온 가족이 모여서 세배를 하거나 제사를 지내기도 하는데요. 이렇게 여러 가지 의미를 지닌 설날은 한국의 가장 큰 명절입니다. 그렇다면 설날에 한국에서 사람들이 가장 많이 찾는 곳은 어디일까요? 정답은 이 비디오 마지막에 알려드릴게요. 설날이 되면 한국 사람들은 모두 부모님이 계신 큰 집에 모입니다. 새해 첫날인 만큼 새해 인사가 중요하겠죠? 새해에는 모두들 예쁜 한복을 입고 집안의 어른들에게 새해 인사를 드립니다. 설날에는 조금 특별한 인사를 드리는데요. 바로 세배입니다. 설날에 어른들에게 새해 첫 인사를 드릴 때에는 무릎을 꿇고 고개를 숙이면서 큰 절을 올립니다. 그리고 이때 새해 복 많이 받으세요 라고 말을 하고요. 설날에는 또 차례를 지내면서 돌아가신 조상님들께 인사를 드립니다. 차례는 조상님들께 정성껏 준비한 음식을 차리고 올 한 해도 잘 보살펴 달라고 부탁드리는 전통 의례인데요. 차례를 지낼 때에는 먼저 커다란 상에 조상님들이 평소 좋아하던 음식과 고기, 국수, 전 같은 여러 가지 기본 음식을 올려놓습니다. 그리고 상 가운데에는 조상님들의 사진이나 신이라고 하는 작은 표식을 올려놓고요. 그런 다음 가족들이 모두 함께 상을 바라보면서 큰절을 함께 합니다. 차례가 끝나면 가족들은 함께 모여서 특별한 음식을 먹는데요. 바로 떡국입니다. 떡국은 가늘게 썬 가래떡을 물과 함께 끓인 음식인데요. 한국에서는 설날 아침에는 누구나 꼭 떡국을 먹곤 합니다. 여러분은 왜 그런지 아세요? 한국에서는 나이가 한 살 더 많아질 때 나이를 하나 더 먹는다고 이야기를 합니다. 음식을 먹는다고 말을 할 때 쓰는 먹는다와 같은 동사인데요. 그래서 한국 사람들은 떡국을 한 그릇 먹어야 나이를 한 살 더 먹는다는 의미로 새해 첫날에는 꼭 떡국을 먹곤 합니다. 참고로 한국에서는 1월 1일이면 생일과 상관없이 누구나 한 살 더 많아진다는 점 기억해 두세요. 여러분 그거 아세요? 설날에만 들을 수 있는 음악이 있다는 걸요. 설날에 텔레비전을 보다 보면 까치까치 설날은 어저께고요. 우리 설날은 오늘이래요 라는 노래를 자주 들을 수 있을 겁니다. 여기서 까치까치 설날은 작은 설날의 의미를 표현하고요. 양력 1월 1일을 의미합니다. 즉, 이 노래 가사는 음력 설날이 진짜 우리 설날이라는 것을 의미하는 거죠. 그만큼 한국 사람들은 양력 설날보다 음력 설날을 더 중요하게 생각합니다. 자, 그럼 여기서 아까 물어본 퀴즈의 정답을 알려드릴게요. 설날에 가장 사람들이 많이 있는 곳은 바로 고속도로입니다. 한국에 사는 사람 중 절반 정도가 서울과 수도권에 살다 보니까 설날이 되면 다른 도시에 있는 부모님을 만나기 위해서 고속도로로 이동하는 사람들이 크게 늘어나고 있는데요. 그래서 가까운 거리도 평소보다 10배 이상 시간이 걸리기도 합니다. 요즘에는 시간을 줄이기 위해서 부모님들이 서울로 이동하는 경우가 많다고 하네요. 이번 레슨 어떠셨어요? 새롭게 알게 된 내용들 많이 있으셨나요? 여러분이 태어난 나라에서도 새해 첫날에 다양한 행사들이 많이 있나요? koreanclass101.com 코멘트란에 남겨주세요. 그럼 다음 시간에 만나요. 여러분 안녕하세요. 노경진입니다. 여러분은 한국의 근대 역사에 대해서 알고 계세요? 그렇다면 1910년부터 1945년까지 일본 정부가 한반도를 지배하고 있었다는 내용도 들어보셨을 겁니다. 1910년 때부터 특히 갑작스럽게 일본의 지배를 받게 되면서 여기저기에서 크고 작은 독립운동이 많이 일어났는데요. 그 중에 가장 큰 독립운동이 1919년 3월 1일에 일어났습니다. 이번 시간에 알아볼 한국의 휴일은요, 이 독립운동이 일어난 3월 1일 3일절입니다. 1919년 3월 1일 독립운동이 일어났을 당시 사람들은 한 가지 구호를 다 함께 외쳤는데요. 여러분은 알고 계신가요? 정답은 이 비디오 마지막에 알려드릴게요. 3.1운동 당시 전국 곳곳에서는 독립운동이 일어났고 많은 사람들이 전국에 있는 형무소에 갇혔습니다. 특히 대표적인 곳이 서울 서대문구에 위치한 서대문 형무소입니다. 서대문 형무소는 일제시대에 만들어진 감옥입니다. 지금도 그중 일부가 공원으로 남아있는데요. 한국의 독립을 위해서 노력했던 수많은 사람들이 이 감옥에서 갇혔고 그중 많은 사람들이 감옥 안에서 목숨을 잃기도 했습니다. 그래서 지금도 3.1절이면 많은 사람들이 이 서대문 형무소를 방문해서 독립운동을 하다가 희생된 사람들에게 감사의 마음을 표현합니다. 서대문 형무소에 갇혔던 수많은 사람들 중 유관순 열사는 지금도 많은 사람들이 기억하는 독립운동가 중 한 명입니다. 유관순 열사는 그 당시 17살, 어린 나이에 독립운동을 하다가 서대문 형무소로 들어오게 되었는데요. 지금도 3.1절이 되면 많은 사람들이 찾는 곳 중 한 곳이 유관순 굴입니다. 햇빛이 들어오지 않는 어둡고 작은 감옥으로 바로 유관순 열사가 갇혔던 지하 감옥입니다. 서대문 형무소뿐만이 아니라 3.1절에 한국에 가면 많은 사람들이 집 앞에 태극기를 단 모습을 볼 수 있을 겁니다. 또 차에 태극기를 달고 다니고 태극기 모양의 옷을 입고 다니는 사람들도 쉽게 볼 수 있는데요. 지금도 한국 사람들에게는 그만큼 3.1절은 뜻깊은 날 중 하나로 자리 잡고 있습니다. 여러분 그거 아세요? 3.1절 날 아침 10시가 되면 한국에서는 전국에 커다란 사이렌 소리가 울립니다. 사이렌 소리가 들리면 사람들은 독립운동을 하다가 목숨을 잃은 수많은 사람들을 위해서 고개를 숙이고 묵념을 합니다. 자, 그럼 여기서 오늘의 퀴즈의 정답을 알려드릴게요. 바로 대한독립 만세입니다. 대한민국이 한국의 정식 국가 명칭이죠. 이 대한의 독립이 영원할 것이라는 의미입니다. 1945년 일본에서 해방된 뒤에 비로소 한국 사람들은 이 말을 아무 걱정 없이 외칠 수 있게 되었습니다. 이번 레슨 어떠셨어요? 새롭게 알게 된 내용들 많이 있으셨나요? 여러분이 태어난 나라에서는 어떤 독립운동들이 있었나요? koreanclass101.com 코멘트란에 남겨주세요. 그럼 다음 시간에 만나요.
Imagine you're hungry and don't want to leave your home. You want to order food over the phone, but what should you say? 안녕하세요, 이재입니다. Jerry here. Anyone can learn how to order food delivery over the phone in Korea. In this lesson, you'll learn how. Mark is at home calling a fried chicken restaurant. Let's watch.
여보세요. 종로치킨입니다.
아, 여보세요? 배달 되나요?
네, 됩니다.
그럼 양념치킨 한 마리 가져다 주세요.
양념 하나요?
네,
주소 말씀해 주세요.
하나 오피스텔 304호요.
하나 오피스텔 304호요? 알겠습니다.
Now the lesson focus. Here's how to order food over the phone. Do you know one of the most popular types of food that people order and have delivered to them in Korea? It's chicken, or in Korean, 통닭. When you order chicken in Korea, you can choose from a wide range of flavors. You can order fried chicken or fried chicken, or maybe chicken with spicy sauce or 양념 chicken. It costs around 15,000 Korean won, which is around 12 to 15 US dollars per order of chicken. If you're pressed for time or really hungry, then ordering jjajangmyeon is your best option. Jjajangmyeon is a Chinese Korean dish made of black soybean paste and noodles, and is very cheap. It costs only 3,000 Korean won or around 3 US dollars per dish. Compared to other foods, jjajangmyeon is prepared quickly. And the delivery time is much shorter than chicken restaurants, with an average of 15 to 20 minutes. If you live in Korea, you can find flyers almost every day in front of your door. You can get the name of the food and the price there. Sometimes you can find a book of flyers which show the menu and the price of food available for delivery around your town. If you don't have any flyers, look on the websites of popular chains such as BBQ Chicken for chicken and Domino Pizza for pizza. You can simply say the food name and say 가져다 주세요, which means please bring, as Mark did. 그럼 양념치킨 한 마리 가져다 주세요. Then the staff will say 주소 말씀해 주세요. Tell me your address. Or 주소 어떻게 되세요? What's your address? These are honorific phrases that are used to ask your address.
주소 말씀해 주세요.
When you give your address to the staff, you can start with the street address or the building's name as Mark did. 하나 오피스텔 304호요. Mark lives in opistel, which is a popular type of accommodation in South Korea. He gives the name of the building, 하나 오피스텔, then says 304호, the room number. Make sure that when you give your room number, you say the counter 호 as in 304호. 호 is the counter for room numbers. Usually, you don't need to give the full address when the restaurant is in your town. Only when you live in a regular house do you need to give the street name and the street numbers. For example, 사랑길 3-2 or 3-2 사랑 Street. You can find the street name and the street number right next to the front door of your building. Once the staff have your address, you're set to go. It usually takes about 30 to 40 minutes to get your food delivered. If you want to check how long it'll take, ask 얼마나 걸려요? This means how long will it take? If you want to pay by a credit card, make sure to ask 카드 돼요? Which means is a credit card okay? If you don't ask, the staff might not bring the credit card reader when they deliver the food. When the delivery staff come, they'll ring the bell. They'll say 치킨 왔습니다, which means chicken is here, or 중국집이요, which means Chinese restaurant here. Open the door, get your food, and give the bills or credit card to the staff. Imagine you're at the bus stop trying to find a restaurant. The bus arrives and you want to ask the driver where the bus goes. What do you say? 안녕하세요, 이재입니다. Jae here. Anyone can learn to use public transportation in Korea. In this lesson, you'll learn how. Mark and Karen are using public transportation to find a restaurant. Let's watch.
702번 버스가 곧 도착합니다.
아저씨, 종로 1가에 가나요? 네, 갑니다. 2명이요. 잠시만요. 이제 되세요.
다음 정류소는 종로 1가입니다.
Now the lesson focus. Here's how to ride a bus in Korea. In Seoul, a bus system connects every corner of the city. Buses are called 버스 in Korean, and they have 3 colors in Seoul. Green is for smaller areas, blue is for connecting different districts, and red buses connect different cities. If you want to check a bus route, say your destination and the phrase 에 가나요? Listen again to what Mark said. 아저씨, 종로 1가에 가나요? Mister, is this going to 종로 1가? Passengers on the bus must board using the front door and exit using the back door. You can transfer from a bus to another bus or from a bus to the subway almost for free up to 5 times. But you have to make sure to transfer within 30 minutes. To receive free transfers, make sure to scan your card whenever you exit the bus or subway. You can transfer between subways for free even if they are operated by different companies. Sometimes you may be charged additional fees depending on the distance you travel. When you get on the bus, scan your transportation card. If you hear 잔액이 부족합니다 or you have insufficient balance, you can pay by cash. Take your cash and put it into the box near the driver's seat. You'll receive your change but use nothing bigger than 5,000 won bills when you pay by cash. When you want to pay for 2 or more passengers, say the number and 명이요. For example, if you want to pay for 2, say 2명이요. For 3, 3명이요. After saying this phrase, wait a second. The driver will change the setting of the card scanner. When it's done, scan your card to pay for multiple people. When you've paid once for multiple people, you can transfer only to buses. Make sure to say 2명이요 or 3명이요 when you transfer to the next bus. Otherwise, you won't get the transfer service. When you're on the bus, make sure to listen to the announcement. The announcement will be in Korean and English and will be displayed inside the bus. If you hear your bus stop's name, press the red bell that is nearest to you. If no one presses it, the bus won't stop. When the bus arrives, make sure to scan your card. The card reader is placed next to the exit door. When your card was not scanned correctly, you'll hear 카드를 다시 대주십시오, which means please scan your card again. Make sure you put your card on the reader for at least 1 second. Like this quick lesson? Watch the full version at koreanclass101.com to understand the whole dialogue. While you're there, learn about Korean culture with our audio lessons and cultural word lists. Sign up for your free lifetime account at koreanclass101.com. 다음 시간에 뵙겠습니다. 안녕하세요. Hello. This is the greeting that you can use for the formal situation. When you meet someone for the first time, you can say 안녕하세요. 만나서 반갑습니다, which means hello, it's nice to meet you. Or with your friend, you can just say 안녕 without 하세요, just to say hello to your friend. 여보세요. Hello on the phone. You have to use a different phrase when you want to say hello on the phone. So say 띠리리리링 안녕. 안녕하세요. 띠리리리리 여보세요. 여보세요. That's so you can say 안녕하세요 when you're talking on the phone. It sounds weird. 오랜만이에요. Long time no see. When you're just shopping in the department store and you see someone you haven't met for a long time, you can just say 오랜만이에요 to mean long time no see. Or with friend, you can say 오랜만이야. Long time no see. 안녕히 주무세요. Good night. Actually, it literally means please sleep well. So you can use this phrase only with someone who is living together with you, like your parents. So to your parents, 안녕히 주무세요. So at night, you can say 안녕히 주무세요. Then your parents will be, and then you'll be 잘 자, good night. So 잘 자 is informal way to say good night. So to your wife, to your husband, brother or sister, you can just say 잘 자, and then you can just go back to sleep. 안녕히 계세요. Goodbye. There are two ways to say goodbye. This one is the one that you can use when you leave. Let's say you are invited to someone's house. You had a really great time. You leave. In that case, you can say 안녕히 계세요. 안녕히 가세요. Goodbye. Let's say you are the host of the party. You invited everyone to your home, had a really great time, and then everyone is leaving now. You want to say 안녕히 가세요 because your stay, everyone else is leaving. For example, you can say 안녕히 가세요. 와주셔서 감사합니다, which means goodbye, thank you for coming. 만나서 반가워요. Nice to meet you. When you meet someone for the first time, you can say 안녕하세요, then say 만나서 반가워요. Or if someone is younger than you can just say 만나서 반가워 in informal way. So for those who just watched the video of me for the first time, let me say 만나서 반가워요. 모르겠어요. I do not know. Let's say on the street, you're in Seoul, someone asks you something in Korean, you don't know. You have no idea what he's talking about. Then you can just simply say 모르겠어요. I do not know. In informal way, 모르겠어. 감사합니다. Thank you. Let's say you got a gift and you can say 선물 감사합니다. Thank you for the gift. So you can just simply say 감사합니다 or the noun plus 감사합니다 to mean thank you for something. 고맙습니다. Thank you. You can say 감사합니다 or 고맙습니다 to say thank you, but if you want to make it sound more friendly, you can say 고맙습니다. 선물 고맙습니다. Thank you for the gift. 초대 감사합니다. Thank you for the invitation. 잠깐만 기다려주세요. Wait a moment, please. Let's say you're late and you see your boss is about to leave. 잠깐만 기다려주세요. 죄송합니다. Sorry. 죄송합니다. 죄송합니다. 미안합니다. Sorry. Don't use this when you make a big mistake, but if it is not big, then you can just say 미안합니다. That's enough. So when you bump into someone on the street, then you can say this. 미안합니다. Because it's not a big mistake. 알겠습니다. I understand. So let's say you made a huge mistake at your company and your boss will be like, 너 지금 뭐 하는 거야? 마. You can say, after listening to everything, you can say, 알겠습니다. I understand. 뻥뻥. 선생님 질문 있어요. 선생님 이름이 뭐예요? 아, 알겠습니다. 잘 다녀오세요. Have a good journey. You can say that to those who are going to take a big trip, but usually we also use that to a father who is about to go to work, and we just say 잘 다녀오세요. 좋은 하루 되세요. Have a nice day. 잘 다녀오세요 literally means please go out and come back safely. So you can say only when someone is leaving and you are staying in and waiting for that person. 이름이 뭐예요? What's your name? 이름이 뭐예요? 이름이 뭐예요? 재휘예요. 아, 네. 이름이 뭐예요? 재휘입니다. 아, 알겠습니다. 이름이 뭐예요? What's your name? 제 이름은 입니다. My name is 제 이름은 이재휘입니다. My name is 이재휘. 안녕. 어서 오세요. Welcome. So you got into the store and you hear 어서 오세요 or 어서 오세요. Or you got a guest coming into your place. You can say 어서 오세요. Welcome. 실례합니다. Excuse me. You have to catch your bus and you have to go through the crowd. Then you have to say 실례합니다. 실례합니다. When you want to ask a question, you can also say 실례합니다. Then your question. 잘 먹겠습니다. I will eat well. Thank you for the meal. You're at the restaurant, you got a lot of food and you're about to eat. Before you eat, you have to say 잘 먹겠습니다. Even if you're alone, you have to say 잘 먹겠습니다. 아, 잘 먹겠습니다. 잘 먹었습니다. I ate well. Thank you for the meal. 잘 먹었습니다. When you leave a restaurant, you can say 잘 먹었습니다 to the staff to say thank you for the meal. 맛있게 드세요. Bon appetit. Let's say this is the food that I made with seaweed, huge seaweed. 오, 맛있게 드세요. 맛있게 드세요. 잘 먹겠습니다. I'm hungry. 이거 얼마예요? How much is this? So you go to shopping, you found the item you really want to have, and then you can say 이거 얼마예요? 저거 얼마예요? 그거 얼마예요? Then you get the price, but don't accept that. You have to try the discount. Say 깎아주세요 to get you discount.
When learning a new language, everyone should have an ultimate goal to work towards. Whether you want to be able to connect with a relative, easily order food while traveling, or go somewhere new, having an end goal for your learning can be very motivating. A popular but challenging goal is being able to speak like a native speaker. It's difficult to measure exactly when you reach this goal, and it's not something you can pick up using textbooks alone. So how do you work on making your speech more natural? That's what we're going to look at today. Here are 3 tips to help you practice talking like a native speaker. Number 1, focus on vocabulary. If your goal is to speak like a native, you might be really focused on speaking quickly or using as many complex grammar patterns as possible. But in our native languages, we're not always trying to speak as fast as possible, and we use complex grammar patterns when necessary, not to show off. Vocabulary, however, is extremely important to expressing ourselves naturally. Your choice of words can reveal a lot about you and your understanding of the language. Most learners have had the experience of using a phrasebook or a dictionary to find a word they want to use, trying the word in conversation, and getting a look of confusion from the native speaker. In some cases, although your word choice may be grammatically correct, the word may be inappropriate for the situation or totally unnatural. This is especially important in business and other formal situations, where the right level of formality and professionalism is key. Being able to understand nuances in vocabulary words can also help you understand relationships between people just by listening to the conversation. Try to listen to many different types of conversations. Listen to how people talk to their friends, their superiors, and in customer service situations. This will give you a better idea of how to talk to others naturally. In some languages, you can omit words from sentences or use more direct communication styles. It's important to be aware of these things so you can apply them yourself. Colloquialisms and slang are also commonly used in most languages. As this sort of vocabulary is always evolving, it can be difficult to keep up with the latest words. Talk with native speakers and consume media in your target language to make sure you pick up these kinds of expressions. Media is a great resource for your learning. Ultimately, knowing the appropriate vocabulary to use for each situation will really help you sound more knowledgeable. Number 2, perfect your accent. With every language, there are unique pronunciation and intonation challenges. Some languages are tonal languages, and a change in pitch can completely change the meaning of a word. Then there's the fact that most countries have multiple dialects, and so people from one area of the country may sound different from those in another. So what is the best way to listen to a wide range of accents and different pronunciations? Video and audio resources are a great way to do this. YouTube is a perfect place to start because people from all kinds of different backgrounds upload videos to the platform. You can watch educational videos, daily life vlogs, cooking shows, a travel series, whatever interests you. Pay attention to the different ways people speak. Everyone is unique. And then practice speaking like them. This kind of practice can help you sound more natural. One note, please be aware of the type of resources you're using. For example, if you find a video where a speaker uses a rare dialect, it might not be a good idea to use that for your pronunciation practice, unless you have a special reason for studying a specific accent. As a general rule, it's best to try to search for practice resources that use a standard form of the language you're studying. Number 3, copy what you hear. Do you remember how you learned to speak as a child? We rarely learned new words just listening to them, or reading after we learned how. When we were little kids, we imitated the sounds we heard by repeating the sounds out loud. While you're talking to a friend, watching videos, or listening to audio in your target language, you can do this to try and replicate the way they speak. Doing this will help you work on mastering the flow of the language, your accent, intonation, and pronunciation. Of course, you might also pick up some new vocabulary this way. Make sure to repeat new words often. It's a great way to make sure you remember them. Try doing this using a number of different mediums and sources. That way, you'll be exposed to the diversity that the language offers and master the fundamentals of pronunciation. For example, you can watch and imitate several different YouTube videos and audio CDs, but try a few different sources, like different creators or different audio types, to make sure you experience a wide range of communication in your target language. If you're using our language learning program, you can even get your own teacher with Premium Plus. Your teacher can answer questions, give assignments, and even listen to your recordings and give you advice on pronunciation. Completing these kinds of lessons with a native teacher can really boost your confidence in your speaking skills. Becoming able to speak like a native is a popular goal for many people learning a new language. It feels great to be able to communicate smoothly, especially when the people you're talking to expect basic level sentences or broken communication. Try using the tips we've shared in this video to work on improving your speaking skills. Of course, it'll take time and persistence, but the reward will be more natural communication. And for even more tips on speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye!
In this video, you will learn 10 of the most common words and phrases in Korean. Hi everybody, my name is Yun. Welcome to the 2000 Core Korean Words and Phrases video series. This series will teach you the 2000 most common words and phrases in Korean. Each lesson will help you practice and review what you've learned. We'll also include the previous lessons at the end because reviewing is one of the most important parts of learning a language. You can also get the full list right now at KoreanClass101.com. Click the link in the description to access more example sentences, create your own flashcard decks, and finally, master Korean. Okay, let's get started. First is 감염, infection. 감염, 감염, infection. 피부 감염, skin infection. 피부 감염. 독감, flu. 독감, 독감, flu. 독감철, flu season. 독감철. 트럼펫. trumpet. 트럼펫. 트럼펫. trumpet. 트럼펫을 불다. play the trumpet. 트럼펫을 불다. 탑승구. departure gate. 탑승구. 탑승구. departure gate. 43번 탑승구. departure gate 43. 43번 탑승구. 사회학. sociology. 사회학. 사회학. sociology. 사회학 연구. study of sociology. 사회학 연구. 승무원. flight attendant. 승무원. 승무원. flight attendant. 여승무원. female flight attendant. 여승무원. 좌석. seat. 좌석. 좌석. seat. 비행기 좌석. airplane seat. 비행기 좌석. 의학. medicine. 의학. 의학. medicine. 의학 분야. field of medicine. 의학 분야. economy class. economy class. economy class. economy class. economy class. economy class 좌석. economy석. economy class seats. economy class 좌석. economy석. 비행. flight. 비행. 비행. flight. 비행 지연. delayed flight. 비행 지연. Let's review. Respond to the prompts by speaking aloud. First, you will hear a word or phrase in English. Respond in Korean, then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Infection. 감염. 감염. flu. 독감. 독감. trumpet. 트럼펫. 트럼펫. departure gate. 탑승구. 탑승구. sociology. 사회학. 사회학. flight attendant. 승무원. 승무원. seat. 좌석. 좌석. medicine. 의학. 의학. economy class. economy class. economy class. flight. 비행. 비행. Well done! In this lesson, you expanded your vocabulary and learned 10 new useful words. Click the link in the description and sign up for free at koreanclass101.com to get access to the full list of vocabulary you need for daily conversations. You also get example sentences, custom flashcard decks, and more learning resources. See you next time! 잘 가요.
Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Korean ebook before it's gone.